Well, it's that time again here in the United States. It's Thanksgiving, a time to sit back, completely ignore the history of the holiday, and gorge yourself on deviled eggs because the turkey is going to take at least another couple hours because Dad forgot to take it out of the freezer until the last possible second. Again. Thanksgiving has always been in a strange position when it comes to holidays, especially considering that it's placed squarely between arguably the two largest holidays in the United States, which happens to be Halloween and Christmas. Both of these holidays have a slew of movies for viewers to enjoy, but when it comes to Thanksgiving, the pickings are surprisingly slim. That being said, Thanksgiving does have its moment in the sun when it comes to television. Just about every sitcom and adult animated series that runs long enough winds up having some sort of Thanksgiving-themed episode. So, while you're waiting for that turkey to finish cooking, let's take a look at, in my opinion, one of the best Thanksgiving-themed episodes that animation has to offer. I'm talking, of course, about King of the Hill, Season 4, Episode 7, Happy Hanksgiving. For those of you who don't know, I'm Professor Eclipse, and if you like what you see, be sure to throw a like and a subscription my way so I can continue to grow this channel. So, let's get on with it. The episode begins with Hank and the guys in the alley. Hank is using his coveted propane to smoke a turkey to take to his mother-in-law's place in Montana, who believes that propane can't cut it when it comes to cooking turkey. They wanted to have a Thanksgiving dinner at a restaurant. Hank took that personally and insisted that he cook a perfect turkey to prove to his mother-in-law that she's wrong. The Hills are getting loaded up and Bill. Poor Bill. He offers to give the family a ride to the airport because he coincidentally had to pick up his uncle from the same airport at the exact same time. What a crazy random happenstance that turned out to be. It's also revealed that Luann is packed and ready to go, but doesn't have a plane ticket because Hank only purchased tickets for the direct family, leaving Luann out. Hank doesn't believe he did anything wrong, but Peggy is livid. She slams him for not including Luann and tells him that he will be getting her a ticket when they get to the airport, which in her opinion is one of the busiest days of the year. They arrive at the airport, and the first thing Hank does is cause a massive line pile up where the TSA checks his bags because he couldn't just say that the bags were in his line of sight the entire time. Begrudgingly, the TSA agents go through the family's belongings and find nothing, only for Hank to reveal that he brought a small canister of propane with him. Now, I'm sure anyone who's worked in a job like this, you know exactly how exhausted that TSA guy is. Like, really, Hank? Really? You thought that it would be a good idea to bring a tank of explosive gas on an airplane? Granted, this episode was produced in 1997, so we were pre-9/11 when the airports were a bit more lax, but dude, come on, just no. Once they get inside, Hank gets Luann's ticket, which winds up costing him over $700 because he bought the ticket the day of rather than 6 months ago with the other 3 tickets. Hank doesn't think that this is particularly fair, but in this case, he probably deserved to take the L on it. Karma is kind of a bitch after all. Meanwhile, Dale and his family, along with John Redcorn, also arrive at the airport to drop Redcorn off, but Dale's wife wants to see him to the gate, so she leaves while Dale and Joseph find a place to park the Buggabago. Next up, we have one of the funniest jokes in the whole episode. Luann tells Hank that a man asked her if she wanted to join the Mile High Club, and Hank, apparently not knowing anything about anything if it isn't a gas, just says that he bets they have an application for it on the plane. We also see the Supernewson phones at the airport as well. Apparently the entire cast of King of the Hill all had to travel, and all the flights leave at the same time. Unfortunately for Hank, the airport announces that due to sleet, their flight, along with everybody else's, is delayed. We then cut back to Bill, who is back at his house, and he's using a whole-ass turkey pan to cook a banquet frozen turkey dinner. Why, Bill? Why? Anyway, he hears that the airport is delaying all the flights. He gets excited and then rushes to the airport in order to meet up with the Hills. At the airport, tensions are slowly rising. Bobby is upset about only having a salad to eat while Connie has a teriyaki bowl because her dad tricked the employees at the Asian restaurant into believing that he was the district manager and there to help them out. The airport employee then announces that they are getting ready to de-ice the planes, but Peggy overhears a Hispanic gentleman talking to his wife and saying that he heard from the pilot that there weren't enough employees to de-ice their plane, but another airline did have the employees. It's at this moment that Peggy does what she does best. butt in and make an ass of herself by using her broken Spanish to try and speak with the guy, who relays what he heard to her. She tells Hank, but he's keeping his composure through all this and just thinks that they should wait it out. Peggy, though, the unmitigated gall she has when she tricks her own son into running towards a cookie stand in order to get Hank to leave the terminal they were assigned to so she could herd them all to the other flight. Once the Hill family makes it to the other terminal, though, the lady at the desk tells them that their airline doesn't even fly to Montana. Hank insists that she check again because the poor gullible buffoon believes that his wife wouldn't lie to him, but when Peggy is confronted, she doesn't have anything to say. They make it back to their terminal only to find out that the flight has been canceled until the following day, but the airline is providing a block of rooms and a shuttle to get people there. The Hills stand in line and argue about whether more shuttles would come since there wouldn't be enough room in the one that was there. They see Boonhauer leaving with a couple of the stewardesses, and when Bill arrives, he joyfully states that they're all stuck there the whole night. Peggy then tells Bill to drive them to the hotel, but Bill crashes the car due to his lack of attention to the road. Pay attention to the road, people. Don't be like Bill. No one wants to be like Bill. Bill and the Hills are forced at that point to walk to the hotel, where they see, shockingly enough, multiple shuttle buses. Apparently there is no rooms available at that point, so they're forced to go back to the airport. The entire time this is all going on, there's also a B-plot happening where Dale keeps pretending to be an admiral and tries to find a place to smoke in the airport but keeps getting caught. Eventually he winds up stepping out a door and getting stuck outside. It's now the next morning and the Hills flight is ready to go. Hank tries to bring his turkey with him, but since it's too big to carry on, he's forced to check it. When the crew goes to load the checked luggage, they are forced to stop when the bomb-sniffing dogs indicate that Hank's box is a possible threat. They then proceed to blow up the box, destroying Hank's precious propane-smoked turkey. On top of this, the extra time that it took to do so caused the flight to miss its very small window for takeoff before the weather got bad again. At this point, Hank has officially lost his cool. He demands that the airline get him on a flight immediately so he can get back to Montana in time to cook another turkey. But no dice. The desk clerk does let them know, though, that a different airport across town has a flight leaving for Montana in an hour and that there's a shuttle heading over there. All the niceties are over for Hank. He immediately lies to a family about what's going on and books it for the shuttle. They make it to the shuttle, but when he sees that family he just lied to, he feels guilty and trades places with them, allowing them to be able to take the trip. The Hill family all sit around a table at the closed food court as the rest of the cast slowly makes their way into the scene. Nobody made their flights and everyone is disappointed, but Hank gives that classic Hank Hill speech and has everyone gather what they have in order to make a makeshift Thanksgiving dinner together consisting of pizza, some airline peanuts, and a stick of gum that he happened to have with him to make sure that he could pop his ears. And that's the episode. If you ever had to fly for a holiday, this episode probably feels like a very familiar situation to you. The sheer amount of stress that everyone is under during the holidays is enough for me personally to not want to travel in the first place. I know it's a holiday and family time is important, but it would be so much easier and probably cheaper to just make your own family holiday that happens when travel isn't at its peak. I hope you liked this look into Happy Hanksgiving. If you did, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and maybe throw a comment down below about what you would like to see me cover in the future. Until then though, Happy Thanksgiving! Try not to get your turkey blown up by the bomb squad.